Picture this: a master swordsman stands before his opponent. His breath is calm, his eyes are steady, his mind completely empty, not blank but clear, like a still pond reflecting everything without disturbance. In this state, he doesn't think about the next move. His body simply responds. Hours could pass in what feels like moments. This is Mushin, no mind, and it's the ancient samurai secret to what we now call the flow state. Today, we're drowning in distractions. We check our phones over 100 times a day. We switch between tasks every 15 minutes. We wonder why we can't focus for more than an hour without feeling mentally exhausted. Yet centuries ago, samurai warriors discovered a method to maintain peak concentration not just for minutes, but for hours on end. They had no choice. In battle, a single moment of distraction meant death. In training, sustained focus meant mastery. Their survival depended on it, and what they learned can transform how you work today. The samurai understood something profound about the mind. It's not about forcing yourself to concentrate harder. It's about removing the barriers that prevent natural concentration from flowing. Think of a river. It doesn't struggle to flow downhill. It simply follows its nature when obstacles are cleared from its path. Your mind works the same way. The flow state isn't something you create through willpower. It's something you uncover by removing mental interference. Modern research confirms what the samurai knew instinctively. Scientists studying flow state discovered that when we're fully immersed in a task, the prefrontal cortex, the part of our brain responsible for self-criticism and doubt, temporarily quiets down. This phenomenon is called transient hypofrontality. Without that inner critic constantly judging our performance, our actions become fluid and effortless. The samurai called this state Mushin, the mind free from fear, anger, and ego. A mind that can face any challenge without hesitation. But here's the question that matters. How did they achieve this state consistently, and how can you do the same in your modern work? The answer lies in 3 specific practices they mastered. First, the preparation ritual. Before any important battle or training session, samurai warriors engaged in Mokuso, a brief meditation to clear mental clutter and center their awareness. They would sit in seiza position, spine straight, hands resting on their thighs, and take deep, controlled breaths. This wasn't about relaxation, it was about mental calibration. They were creating a clean slate, washing away the residue of previous tasks, worries about outcomes, and attachment to results. You can apply this same principle before any deep work session. Before you begin working, take just 5 minutes to sit quietly. Close your eyes, focus on your breathing. 4 counts in, hold for 4, exhale for 6, hold for 2. This square breathing pattern, which samurai used to steady themselves before combat, resets your nervous system and brings you into the present moment. Don't skip this step. Modern workers jump straight into tasks. While their minds are still scattered across a dozen different concerns, the samurai knew better. Mental preparation determines performance. The second practice involves what they called Kihon, the mastery of fundamentals through endless repetition. Master swordsmen who had trained for 30 years still began every practice session with the most basic strikes and stances. This wasn't about learning new techniques. It was about training the body and mind to work as one unit without conscious thought. When movements become automatic, the conscious mind is freed to enter flow state. Modern research calls this muscle memory, but the samurai understood it as something deeper, the path to Mushin. In your work, this translates to a crucial insight. You cannot enter deep flow state while simultaneously learning new skills or working on tasks that demand constant decision-making. Flow happens when you're working at the edge of your abilities, challenging but not overwhelming. The samurai struck this balance perfectly. They practiced fundamentals until they became effortless, then applied those fundamentals to increasingly complex situations. This is why elite performers in any field, from musicians to athletes to programmers, still drill the basics daily. Automatic execution of foundational skills creates mental space for flow. The third practice, and perhaps the most misunderstood, is the concept of Zanshin, continuing awareness. After completing a sword strike, a samurai never relaxed immediately. He maintained complete alertness, ready for what came next. This sustained awareness is what allowed them to work in flow state for extended periods. Where most people exhaust themselves by cycling between intense focus and complete relaxation, the samurai maintained a middle state. Alert but not tense, focused but not strained. This is the key to working for hours without breaking. Think about how you typically work. You push hard for an hour, then collapse into distraction. Check social media, browse news, chat with colleagues. You're either fully on or completely off. The samurai way teaches a different approach. Maintain a steady state of relaxed concentration. Not sprinting, not resting, but moving at a sustainable pace that can be maintained for hours. This is why the samurai emphasized proper breathing throughout their practice. When your breath is calm and steady, your mind follows. But there's something else the warriors understood that modern productivity culture often misses: the importance of singular focus. The samurai practiced what Zen Buddhism calls Joriki, the power of concentrated attention. In battle, trying to watch multiple opponents simultaneously meant losing to all of them. Instead, they trained to give complete attention to one thing at a time while maintaining peripheral awareness. Multitasking was not just inefficient, it was fatal. Today's research shows the average person can only maintain about 4 to 5 hours of genuine deep work per day. Push beyond this and your productivity drops dramatically. The samurai knew this too. They structured their training in focused sessions with clear boundaries. Morning practice focused on technique, afternoon sessions on strategy, evening time for meditation and reflection. They didn't try to do everything at once. They gave each activity its full attention in its proper time. This is how you sustain flow, not by working harder, but by working with complete presence. There's one more element that made samurai concentration so powerful: their relationship with failure and distraction. When a thought intruded during meditation or a mistake happened during practice, they didn't judge it or fight against it. They simply acknowledged it and returned attention to the present moment. No frustration, no self-criticism, just a gentle return to focus. This practice, returning attention again and again without judgment, builds the mental muscle that sustains flow state. Modern workers often break their own flow through harsh self-judgment. You get distracted and immediately think, "I can't focus. I'm terrible at this. I should be better." This internal commentary creates the very mental noise that prevents flow. The samurai way is different. Notice the distraction, release it without drama, return to the task. Each time you do this, you strengthen your ability to maintain focus. It's not about never getting distracted. It's about how quickly and gracefully you return. The truth is, the flow state that seems mystical and rare to us was simply the samurai's normal working state. They trained for it daily. They understood its principles. They removed the obstacles that prevented it. And most importantly, they recognized that peak performance doesn't come from constant effort, but from working in harmony with the mind's natural rhythms. Not fighting against distraction, but cultivating such complete presence that distraction has nowhere to take root. So here's what you can do today. Before your next deep work session, take 5 minutes for Mokuso breathing. Choose one specific task that uses skills you've already developed. Maintain steady, calm breathing throughout. When distractions arise, and they will, notice them without judgment and return your focus. Work at a sustainable pace that you can maintain for hours, not a sprint that exhausts you in minutes. This is the samurai way, not superhuman effort but complete presence. Not fighting your mind, but clearing the path for its natural flow. The warriors knew that in the space of no mind, between overthinking and unconsciousness, lies your peak performance. That's where hours feel like minutes and work feels like practice rather than labor. That's the secret they carried into battle and brought home to their daily training. And now, it's yours to use. Write in the comments, "I will work in flow state today." Thank you for watching.